if you want to be a woman, right, you're going to talk like a woman, you're going to act like a woman. But it's also a flip side of it. What about the women who talk like men, grow beard, and wear men clothing? You know what I mean? They feel that that's their best way to identify what they believe that God has ordained in them.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real life street stars. You know what time it is.
What are your thoughts? You mentioned the Adam's apple and the lion's roar. I just gotta get your thoughts on the male who tries to pretend to be a female and have his voice, talk like a woman when he knows that's not his actual voice. Like when he minimizes his voice to sound like a woman.
Well, when you think about people changing their voices and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? These people, what they doing is they're mimicking each other. If you want to be a woman, right, you're going to talk like a woman, you're going to act like a woman. But it's also a flip side of it. What about the women who talk like men, grow beard, and wear men clothing? You know what I mean? They feel that that's their best way to identify what they believe that God has ordained in them. Because a lot of them, even though science may have it may be some discrepancy from a scientific perspective about God made a man, and a woman, whatever, but in their mind, this is their best way of making an expression. I asked the young lady, I said, Chan, I said, so how do you have sex? She said, well, I buy it. If she want a 12-inch, I give her a 12-inch. She want a little, he said, skinny. They like the biggest. So, you know what I'm saying? that's just how it is, But then, they able to do that, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I had another theory on it, but I said this theory one time and I got in trouble. But I give you the closest thing I can give to it, right? Okay, so if a person is saying something or talking a certain way, you know what I'm saying? We say that's abnormal, right? And it's not normal to people, right? If a person is, say, for example, if a person has some type of deformity, right? Or some type of illness, what we call retardation or mental retardation, and they like this, we say that's some type of deformity, right? So, a lot of times, we look at certain things and we say, oh, what's wrong with that person? And we laugh at it. Oh, what's wrong with that person? But, some things, people just, God give it to them. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because, you know what? That's a crazy question. Because I'm thinking about it, the more I think about it, it's a lot of men that disguises their voice. You see what I'm saying? So it got to be like, and then I look at...
To me, they're losing their power. And I understand trying to be submissive, but there's still power in the voice.
Yeah. But see, let's address it more in-depthly, right? If you think about what I just said about the absence of the father. When I was young, I used to try my daddy tie on. I used to get a shaver, act like I'm shaving. A lot of these women that I talk to, she said, Ken, my son is trying on my shoes. He's trying on my weed. He's trying on my wig. Because without the man figure there, they walk around switching in the house. And so what happens is, if you switching and you trying on girl clothes, and this is what most people say, I always love to dress like a woman, always dress like a boy. The probability of you attracting somebody of that nature becomes increasingly more probable, right? So what that means is if a pedophile or somebody that, deals with little boys or deals with little girls or so on and so forth, like the girl Chan, she's 7 years old. In my interview, they got to go see it if you forget. She said 7 years old, her daddy girlfriend had sex with her. And I said, Chan, is it possibility because you said you got off, that's the first experience that you had with a sexual encounter that made you feel that you like, no, don't try to hit me with that bullshit. And Tyler Perry said himself, he said, when I was young, he said, I got raped. A man sucked my penis. That's what he said on Oprah Winfrey. He said, if I wasn't wise, because that's my first encounter with sex, you could mistaken that good feeling as something that is good. And if that's your first experience, then it's gonna be hard for you to differentiate, you know, when you're dealing with a woman, if you already got caught up in that. And then you start taking on these characteristics, you start believing the hype, like, oh, I've been like this all my life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was born this way. But then the only thing I ask anybody, you know, and this is not an argument, is, okay, you know, if we are in those circumstances, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how do we get to the next level? Do me and my girl produce the next person who may believe in the same thing that you believe in? You know, or do you guys make a baby? I've never seen a man make a baby. I've never seen two women impregnate each other. So, I mean, we have to look at the logic in it, but at the same time, you know, I understand that we in a society that's sensitive to a certain thing, so I don't want to, you know, make people think that they can't have their own choice.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life, that shit ain't acting.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real life. Street Starz.